Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode. Today I'm coming to you from Manatee Park on North Merritt Island. We are going to go explore out into the Indian River Lagoon, and I really want to check out this island just a little bit north of Manatee Cove. So that's where we're heading. All right, if you look in front of you, you can see the island that's our destination. So this island is just a little bit north of Manatee Cove. So you can see where we're heading. And if I scroll around, you can kind of see where we came from. So my outing today was not simply to get out on the water, explore the Indian River Lagoon, and do a little fishing. We've been hearing a lot in the news lately. This is May 11th, 2021, about a lot of manatees dying, basically starving to death. And what's actually happened is FWC has moved these carcasses up here to this area just north of Manatee Cove on this island, and that's where they've allowed them to decay and rot. So I'm over here looking at the little beach area. I know it's hard to see right now. We are going to get a lot closer, and we definitely see two carcasses right there and tons of bones everywhere from dead manatee. So let's go get a little bit closer and we'll check them out. Now, one of the first things I notice after beaching the paddleboard is the stench. There's really not much left of these two manatees here, just some skin and bones, but you can still smell them. It is pretty strong. So we're gonna walk up on them here so you can get a look at them. So we can see down into here, we see the vertebrae, rib bones right here. The skin is very hard, as you can see. Here's a scapula right there. We see some rib bones laying out here. So here's the other manatee. This one looks much smaller. This is actually their front flippers, and you can see, which is kind of neat right here, that within the flippers you can actually, they have fingers just like us. They're all fused together in the webbing, but you can actually see the finger bones right here and the arm bones right there. As we explore a little more, we start seeing a lot of, here's some more vertebrae. There. Over here, just bones, literally everywhere. One thing I'm not really seeing is like their head, oh, here's a jaw, here's a lower jaw. Right there, you can see the teeth that are in there. What else? See bones scattered over here. So we see a lot of bones scattered. So most likely a lot of this is from scavengers. We see some even way back here. A few more manatee bones. Here's a catfish bone. The question is, why are the manatees dying? Scientists, FWC, they've done a lot of research. They've done necropsies, basically animal autopsies, trying to understand what is happening to the manatees. We've had record numbers die here in the Indian River Lagoon more than ever before. And basically what's happening is they are starving to death. Manatees are herbivores. They eat seagrasses, seaweed, even mangroves that are extending out over the water, the red mangrove. And the submerged aquatic vegetation is just not there to sustain them. So because of that, they're starving, and they're starving to death. So the question is, why is there no seaweed? Why is there no seagrass? No food for the manatees. That is the problem here. This is why they are starving to death. Out here, real shallow water, sandy bottom. Let me kind of change my view so you can see it. Sandy bottom. All this area here should be covered in a seagrass bed. There should be seagrass everywhere. And I'm walking around and I'm seeing nothing. Slightly different view. It's kind of submerged here. I said, nothing for the manatees to feed on. I was looking for a place to sit down and tell you about why there's no seagrass. I went right around the corner from that last spot, and I've hit another spot where there is just at least 5 carcasses here of manatees, some big, some small. So take a look at this. While we're talking about manatees, this is a great time to do a little sea rescue. So here on the beach, there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4 upside down horseshoe crabs out of the water being exposed to the hot sun that are probably exhausted, running low on energy, and are probably going to die. So we're going to help these Limulus polyphemus out. Look at that. So they're definitely still alive. This is a female. There's one. There's another one. Is this one alive? I'm not even sure. Oh, yep, definitely alive. Oh, that one's gone. Here's another one, possibly alive. Yeah, so help her out. And one more over here. She's almost, this one's almost got it on her own. They're starving to death because they've run out of food. The seagrass, the seaweed, the submerged aquatic vegetation just are not there. So why is that happening? One of the main reasons is because of brown tides. Brown tides have been a big topic here in the Indian River Lagoon because they cause fish kills. What happens is we over-fertilize the Indian River Lagoon, dumping lots of yard waste, fertilizer from our yards, get into the storm drains, get into the Indian River Lagoon. Material gets deposited on the bottom called muck and gets remixed, releasing nutrients into the water, and this brown microalgae starts to bloom. It just grows like crazy, and it turns the water a very murky brown color and makes it hard for sunlight to reach the bottom. Now, typically when we talk about brown tides, we talk about fish kills, in that all this algae is living, but it's also dying. It all falls to the bottom of the Indian River Lagoon. Bacteria break down that algae, consuming all the oxygen, dissolved oxygen in the water. Therefore, there's no dissolved oxygen in the water. Fish kills occur, fish die, crabs die, shrimp die, you know, anything with gills in the Indian River Lagoon die from this. We hear about this every year. But for the manatees, what's happening is this brown colored water, because of the blooming brown algae, is blocking sunlight from reaching the bottom. Therefore, the seagrasses and the seaweed, these submerged aquatic vegetation, SAVs, can't get enough sunlight to photosynthesize, and they start to die. Once they die, the manatees no longer have their food source. So this is one of the main reasons why the manatees are dying in the numbers that they are right now. While walking around, I happened upon a pretty clean skull from a manatee. So I'd like to show it to you right here and kind of talk about the manatee's 2 closest relatives. And that is the elephant and the hyrax, which is a small rodent kind of animal about the size of a beaver or something, both found in Africa. Now, what's interesting is when we look at the teeth, this is one of the things that they have in common. Now, this is the nose, the front of the manatee's skull, and these would be the front 2 teeth, and you see that they're missing right now. Manatees are herbivores, so they're just grinding up grasses and other vegetation. You can see how flat this tooth is right here, right there. And because the food comes in the mouth, these teeth would be doing the grinding first, and therefore they get ground down first. So when these are completely worn away, all the teeth in the jaw here would move forward, and the tooth behind it would move into its place. And then once that happens, a new tooth would start to form. And you see this one right here that hasn't even barely broken the surface right there, would then pop up. And then when the next one wears down, they all shift forward again and a new one pops up. This is also true of elephants, though it's not a continual process for their whole life, and also true of the hyrax. So one of the reasons why the hyrax and the elephant are the closest living relatives to the manatee. So it's a sad day to come out here and see the dead manatee, the carcasses, slowly decomposing. But I guess, you know, we need to remember that there are things that we can do to help the Indian River Lagoon stay healthy. And if we can do that, that's going to help all life associated with the Indian River Lagoon. Thanks for watching.